My mother stood in my apartment 5 days before it burned down. First visit in 2 years. She showed up unannounced, said she missed me, walked through every room touching things. At the time, I was grateful. Now I know what she was really doing. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back to the night that changed everything. February 12th, 3:17 a.m. The smoke alarm screamed me awake. I opened my eyes to complete darkness, the kind you can taste. Chemical. Wrong. My lungs were burning before my brain even caught up. Fire. I grabbed my phone and ran. No shoes, no wallet, nothing but pajamas. The hallway was pure black smoke with this orange glow from below. I slammed into the stairwell door so hard my shoulder bruised for weeks. 4 flights down. Each step felt like my last breath. When I burst onto the sidewalk, the February air hit me like ice. I stood there shivering, watching flames pour out of my 4th-floor window. Unit 4B. My home. A firefighter walked up. "Ma'am, are you the resident?" I nodded. "I'm sorry. Everything in that unit is gone. Gone. 7 years of my life. Photos of my grandparents, the only ones I had. The guitar my late stepfather gave me when I was 16. My laptop with every project, every memory. All of it. Smoke and ash." I sat on the curb, gripping my phone. 3:47 a.m. Neighbors gathered around whispering. Someone put a blanket over my shoulders. My hands shook as I pulled up my contacts. Mom. Dad. They'd come. They'd help. I pressed call. 8 rings before she picked up. "Lisa." My mother's voice was thick with sleep and annoyance. "Do you know what time it is?" "Mom, there was a fire. My apartment. I lost everything. I don't have anywhere to." Silence. Long and empty. "Oh, that's unfortunate. Unfortunate." Like I'd spilled coffee. I heard rustling, then my stepfather Nicholas's voice. She handed him the phone. "Lisa, what's going on?" I told him. The fire. The smoke. Standing here with nothing. His response came flat. Final. "This isn't our problem, Lisa. You should have been more careful. You're an adult now." The line went dead. I sat there with the phone pressed to my ear, listening to nothing. The firefighters kept working. The sun started rising, turning the smoke orange. My parents hadn't asked if I was hurt. Hadn't offered to come. Hadn't said they loved me. Not our problem. And then I remembered. My mother, 5 days ago, walking through my apartment. Her first visit in 2 years. Why had she really come? I pushed the thought away. It was crazy. But the question wouldn't leave me alone. My coworker Tyler saved me that first week. Spare room, no questions when I showed up at 6 a.m. with ash in my hair. Just coffee and stay as long as you need. 3 days later, I called my insurance company. Expecting claim forms, waiting periods. But the rep asked something that made my stomach drop. "Miss Shaw, can you confirm your relationship with Nicholas and Deborah Shaw? They're my parents. My mother and stepfather." Why? Silence. Too long. "Miss Shaw, I think you need to come to our office. There's something you should see. Can't you just tell me? It would be better in person." The insurance office smelled like stale coffee and bad news. Paul led me to a conference room and slid a folder across the table. I opened it. My policy. Standard stuff. Then I turned to the last page. Beneficiary designation, Nicholas Shaw, Deborah Shaw. 100%. The room tilted. "This is a mistake. I never signed this." "Ms. Shaw." Paul pointed to the bottom. "That's your signature." It looked like my signature. Same loops, same slant. But I knew I had never seen this document. "This form was submitted 6 months ago," Paul said quietly. "Someone changed it. 6 months ago. And the payout amount? $150,000. He paused. "Miss Shaw, there's something else." A fire investigator called this morning. He's been asking about this policy. My hands shook. Why would a fire investigator care about my insurance beneficiaries? Paul held my gaze. I think you know why. I did know. Someone forged my signature, changed my beneficiaries. And 5 days before my apartment burned down, my mother visited for the first time in 2 years. I didn't believe in coincidences anymore. Luke Garrison looked exactly like a fire investigator should, weathered face, sharp eyes. We met at a coffee shop. Miss Shaw, I'll be direct. I don't think your fire was an accident. What makes you say that? He showed me photos of my bedroom, charred black. Point of origin is near the outlet behind your dresser. But there's no evidence of electrical failure. No frayed wires, no surge damage. What does that mean? It means someone helped that fire along. I've been doing this 22 years. I know what accidental looks like. This isn't it. I wrapped my hands around my coffee cup. So what happens now? Now I ask questions. Who had access to your apartment in the week before the fire? My heart stopped, then started too fast. I had a visitor. 5 days before. Who? My mother. Luke nodded slowly, like a puzzle piece clicking into place. I checked the building's entry logs. Electronic locks keep records. Only 2 people accessed your unit that week, you and a woman matching your mother's description. Miss Shaw, I'm not accusing anyone yet. But this investigation is active. If there's anything else you know, now's the time. I thought about the insurance form, the forged signature, the $150,000. There might be something else. That night, I called my mother, kept my voice light. Mom, thanks for visiting last week. It meant a lot. A pause. Oh, yes. I missed you, sweetie. Hey, did you notice anything weird in my apartment? The fire investigator keeps asking. Fire investigator? Her voice sharpened. Why would they investigate? They think it might not be an accident. Silence. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lisa. Cold now. Controlled. Don't talk to those investigators without a lawyer. They twist your words. Why would I need a lawyer? I'm the victim. I'm just trying to protect you. From what? Another pause. Nicholas's voice in the background, muffled. I have to go, she said abruptly. The line went dead. My hands weren't shaking anymore. Her advice hadn't been about protecting me. It was about protecting herself. I texted Luke. We need to talk. I have more information. His reply came instantly. Tomorrow 9 a.m. same place. The calls started the next morning. Aunt Sarah first. Honey, your mom called last night. She's so worried about you. Worried about what? She said you've been saying strange things. About the fire. About her. I haven't told anyone anything. Lisa, sweetheart, it's okay to struggle. What you went through, anyone would have trouble coping. My stomach went cold. What exactly did she tell you? Just that you're under a lot of stress. Maybe having some kind of breakdown. She's worried you might say things you don't mean. Crazy things. There it was. Crazy. I'm not crazy, Aunt Sarah. No one's saying you are, honey. I checked my email. One from HR, marked urgent. Timestamp from 2 days ago. We received an anonymous call expressing concern about your mental state following recent personal trauma. We need to schedule a meeting to discuss your current fitness for work. I read it twice. She wasn't just trying to steal my money. She was stealing my credibility before I could speak up. The anger that rose was cold. Clear. Deadly calm. Game on, Mom. Luke raised an eyebrow when I told him about the HR email. That's bold. Discrediting you before you can talk. She's scared. She's strategic. We need something concrete. Something she can't explain away. That's when I remembered. The building installed new security cameras 2 months ago. In all the hallways. Luke was already pulling out his phone. 20 minutes later, we sat in my building manager's office, watching footage. Here, February 7th. I watched my mother walk down the hallway. She carried a large black bag, gym size. She glanced around before entering my apartment. Timestamp, 2:07 p.m. The manager fast-forwarded. My mother emerged at 5:12 p.m. 3 hours. She told me 30 minutes. But that wasn't the worst part. Wait. I leaned forward. Where's the bag? We watched again. She walked in carrying it. Walked out empty-handed. Can you check the other cameras? Luke asked. Stairwells. Parking garage. We found her on the service entrance camera, walking to her car at 5:15. No bag. She left it in my apartment, I said quietly. Luke made a note. Fire investigators found something suspicious near the outlet. Still being analyzed. But if we can prove what she brought in. 3-hour visit. Missing bag. Suspicious fire origin. We had a direction. Elena Pierce was a lawyer who specialized in insurance fraud and didn't sugarcoat. This signature is good. Professional even. But not perfect. She held the form up to light. What do you mean? She pulled out a magnifying glass. See these points? Hesitation marks. When someone forges a signature, they slow down at certain points. Your real signature is fluid. This one has 3 places where the pen paused. So you can prove it's fake. I can hire a forensic document examiner who can. What's more interesting is the submission method. This wasn't mailed. Someone walked into the insurance office. Meaning? Someone pretended to be you. Or claimed to represent you. Elena pulled out another document. I spoke with the clerk who processed this. He remembers a woman. Middle-aged. Brown hair. Said she was handling paperwork for her busy daughter. Brown hair. My mother dyed her gray for years. Can he identify her? He's willing to try. Elena gathered the papers. Between the security footage, signature analysis, and a potential eyewitness, your mother may have outsmarted herself. What do we do now? We wait for her next move. The invitation came 3 days later. My mother's voice, honey sweet. Lisa, honey, the family's been so worried. I'm hosting a gathering this Sunday. Just people who love you, showing support. A gathering. At our house. Around 2. Uncle Henry, Aunt Sarah, the cousins. Everyone wants to see you. Make sure you're okay. Make sure I'm the crazy one, she meant. I'll be there, I said. Really? She couldn't hide her surprise. That's wonderful, sweetheart. I hung up and called Luke. Don't confront her, he warned. We need more time. I won't. But I need to be there when the truth comes out. Fine. But I'll be there within 30 minutes of your signal. Next, Elena. How's the witness identification? Done. He picked your mother out of a 6-photo lineup. No hesitation. I looked at my phone. 3 allies. A witness. Video footage. And a family gathering where my mother planned to prove I was crazy. She thought she was setting a trap. She didn't know she was walking into one. My parents' house looked exactly as I remembered. White siding, manicured lawn, American flag. The picture of suburban respectability. 15 cars lined the driveway. 15 witnesses to whatever she had planned. The door opened before I could knock. Deborah stood there in her Sunday best, cream blouse, pearl earrings, concerned expression perfectly in place. Lisa. She pulled me into a hug, too long, too tight. Her voice carried for the audience. My poor baby. Over her shoulder, I saw them. Aunt Sarah, Uncle Henry, cousins. Faces I'd known my whole life, all watching with pity. She'd done her work well. The room fell quiet as we entered. Nicholas stood by the fireplace, avoiding my eyes. Aunt Sarah approached. Honey, your mom's told us what you've been going through. It's okay to not be okay. The stress of losing everything, Cousin Eric added. Anyone would struggle. Maybe talking to someone would help, Ashley suggested. A professional. I looked around at my family and saw not a single person who believed I might be telling the truth. Not yet. Deborah waited until everyone had drinks. Then she cleared her throat. I want to thank you all for coming. As you know, Lisa's been through something terrible. In times like these, family needs to come together. Murmurs of agreement. But I also need to address. She paused, dabbed her eyes with tissue. The elephant in the room. I stayed perfectly still. My daughter has been saying some very troubling things lately. About me. About her father. About the fire. Nicholas flinched. She thinks Deborah's voice broke. Oscar-worthy. She thinks we had something to do with what happened. Her own parents. Gasps. Shocked whispers. I know she's hurting. I know she lost everything. But to accuse us. Nicholas stepped forward. Our daughter is clearly not well. We love her, but we can't enable these delusions. The room's attention shifted to me, waiting for the denial, the breakdown, proof that poor Lisa had snapped. I said nothing. Hands relaxed. Expression neutral. Let them watch. Let them remember this. My silence. Her performance. My phone buzzed. Luke. Got the full footage. You need to see this now. I stood. Excuse me. I need some air. And I walked out, leaving my mother mid-performance. Luke was parked 2 houses down. I slid into the passenger seat. What did you find? He handed me his phone. Full footage from all angles. I watched my mother walking with the black bag at 2:07 p.m. walk out at 5:12 p.m. with nothing. 3 hours. She told you 30 minutes. That's where it gets interesting. He showed me a photo, charred plastic and wire fragments. Fire investigators found this near the outlet. Digital timer. The kind you plug appliances into. My stomach dropped. We traced the serial number to Wilson's Hardware. 3 miles from your parents' house. Another photo. Store security footage. 8 days before my fire. Cash purchase. The woman had brown hair, familiar posture, a purse I recognized. Is that? Yeah. That's her. I looked back at my parents' house. Through the window, I could see shapes moving. My phone buzzed. Elena. The witness identification came through. Photo lineup. He picked Deborah. No hesitation. Said he remembered her perfume. Chanel No. 5. I almost smiled. My mother's one vanity. Luke, how long until you can make an arrest? Judge signed the warrant this morning. I've got 2 officers meeting me here in 30 minutes. He studied my face. What are you planning? I'm going back inside. When you come through that door, I want my family to see the truth. All of it at once. He hesitated, then nodded. 30 minutes. Then we end this. The evidence was solid. Video footage. Witness. Timer device. Forged signature. Careful, but not careful enough. Luke, why are you helping me so much? He was quiet. My sister. 15 years ago. Abusive ex burned down her house. Insurance tried to deny her claim. Said it was suspicious. She spent 3 years fighting to prove she didn't do it herself. Nearly destroyed her. Did she win? Eventually. But it cost everything. He met my eyes. When I saw your case, mother as beneficiary without consent, fire with no accidental cause, I knew someone was trying to do to you what they tried to do to her. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Thank me when she's in cuffs. I walked back. 25 minutes. The living room went silent when I entered. Deborah was still center stage, tissue in hand. But something flickered in her eyes when she saw my face. I wasn't crying. Wasn't shaking. Lisa, Honey, are you feeling better? Actually, Mom, I have a question. When you visited my apartment last month, why did you stay for 3 hours? You told me 30 minutes. What? I don't remember exactly. The building has cameras, Mom. I have the footage. Her face changed. Just for a second. Lisa, that's enough. Nicholas straightened. You're embarrassing yourself. And the bag you brought? The large black one. Where did it go? You walked in with it. Walked out empty-handed. I don't know what you're talking about. The fire investigators do. The room was utterly still. Aunt Sarah's mouth hung open. Eric had set down his drink. Lisa. Deborah's voice lost its honey. Pure steel. I don't know what lies these investigators have been feeding you, but... Her phone rang. Nicholas's phone rang at the same moment. They looked at each other. Fear. Real fear. Nicholas glanced at his screen. His face went white. Deborah. It's the police. The doorbell rang. Uncle Henry opened it. Luke Garrison stepped inside, badge visible. 2 uniformed officers flanked him. Deborah Shaw. My mother didn't move. Frozen. I'm fire investigator Luke Garrison. You're under arrest for arson in the 2nd degree and insurance fraud. This is ridiculous. Lisa set me up. She's sick. Ma'am, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Don't believe her. She's unstable. She's been making things up. You have the right to an attorney. The handcuffs clicked. The sound echoed. Nicholas tried to step toward her, but the second officer blocked him. Mr. Shaw, we have questions for you as well. I didn't. It was her idea. All of it. Nicholas! Deborah screamed. Shut up. Too late. The family had heard. Aunt Sarah sank into a chair, hand over mouth. Eric looked sick. Uncle Henry shook his head slowly. I watched them lead my mother out. She didn't look back. We both knew how this ended. After the police left, no one spoke. Aunt Sarah moved first, walking toward me with tears streaming. Lisa, I'm so sorry. I should have listened. I should have. You didn't know. I should have asked. You're my niece, and I just believed her. I always believed her. One by one they came. Uncle Henry, Ashley, the others. Apologies. Shock. Disbelief. Whatever you need, Uncle Henry said, voice gruff, eyes wet. Legal fees. A place to stay. The family will help. The real family. Thank you. But I need time to figure out who my real family is. No one argued. I walked out into the February sunlight. The cold air felt clean. 2 days later, I sat across from Elena. Stack of documents between us. The case is solid. Video evidence. Witness identification. Timer device remnants matching a purchase near their home. And now, she slid a paper across. Nicholas's statement. I read it. Deborah came up with the plan after we fell behind on payments. The gambling debts, my fault. But she said this would fix everything. Said Lisa had good insurance. Said no one would get hurt. No one would get hurt. What's the damage for Deborah? Arson in the 2nd degree, Class B felony, plus insurance fraud, forgery, conspiracy. 8 to 12 years. With a plea deal, probably 6. And Nicholas? Conspiracy. He knew, helped cover it up. 2 years probation, mandatory gambling treatment. He's agreed to testify against her. The insurance payouts being redirected. You're the rightful beneficiary. $150,000 minus legal fees should be in your account within 60 days. I want a restraining order. Against both. That can be arranged. News traveled fast. Within 2 weeks, everyone knew. The church asked her not to come back. Nicholas lost his job. Someone spray-painted their garage. Aunt Sarah kept me updated. She's been calling everyone, trying to explain, saying it was a misunderstanding, that you manipulated the investigators. Nobody's answering anymore. The court date came on a gray Thursday in April. I sat in the back row, watching my mother in orange, wrists cuffed. Her hair had grown out, gray showing at the roots. No salon appointments in county jail. She looked smaller, older. The judge read the charges. Each word landed like a stone. Her lawyer had negotiated a plea deal. Guilty on all counts in exchange for reduced sentencing. Deborah Shaw, you are hereby sentenced to 6 years in state prison with eligibility for parole after 4 years. 6 years. She'd be 62 when she got out. I watched her shoulders shake. Nicholas's hearing was separate. Because he cooperated and testified, the DA offered a deal. 18 months county jail, suspended to 2 years probation. 200 hours community service. Completion of gambling addiction program. 1 violation and he'd serve every day. After sentencing, Elena met me in the hallway. The insurance money cleared yesterday. $142,000 after legal fees. It's in your account. The restraining order? Approved. Neither can contact you directly or through third parties for 10 years. How do you feel? I thought about it. Really thought. Empty. But free. She nodded like that made sense. It did. I started therapy 3 weeks after the trial. Dr. Park had kind eyes and asked questions I didn't want to answer, which meant she was exactly what I needed. Do you forgive them? She asked during our 4th session. I stared at the ceiling. Forgiveness isn't my job right now. Healing is. She smiled. That's a healthy perspective. You're not forcing yourself into an emotion you don't feel. That's growth. Growth. Such a small word for such a massive shift. I moved into a new apartment end of April. Smaller than my old one, a studio in a quieter neighborhood. Good locks. Security system I chose myself. No memories. Tyler helped me move in. Aunt Sarah sent flowers. Uncle Henry dropped off casserole and said, "Call if you need anything." I bought a new guitar. Not the same brand as the one my late stepfather gave me. Nothing could replace that. But when I played it, I could almost hear him again. Some things can't be recovered. But you can build new ones. The nightmares faded over time. Some nights I slept straight through till morning. Family, I decided, isn't about blood. It's about choice. About who shows up, who protects you, who believes you when the world says you're crazy. My biological mother tried to destroy me. My chosen family helped me survive. That was enough. That was everything. The letter arrived 2 months after sentencing. State Women's Correctional Facility. My mother's handwriting, smaller and neater, like she'd taken extra care. I almost threw it away unopened. But something made me stop. Dear Lisa, I've had a lot of time to think. About what I did. What I lost. You have to understand, I was desperate. Your father's debts were crushing us. I thought. I'm not making excuses. What I did was wrong. But you're still my daughter. Still my baby. Please come visit. Please let me explain. I'm still your mother. Love, Mom. I read it twice. Then I wrote back. Not to send. Just for myself. Deborah, you were my mother. But the woman who raised me would never have tried to kill me for money. I don't know who you are, and I don't need to find out. Don't write again. I folded it, put it in my desk drawer. Maybe someday I'd send it. Then I blocked the prison's incoming mail through my post office. Professional. Clean. Final. Tyler came over that evening for dinner. He noticed the envelope in my trash. From her? Yeah. You okay? I thought about it. Really considered. Better than okay. I'm free. He smiled. You want help making dinner? Please. We cooked together in my tiny kitchen. Pasta with vegetables. Nothing fancy. Music playing softly. My new guitar leaning against the wall. It wasn't the life I'd planned. It was better. I'm sitting in my apartment now, looking out at the city lights. 6 months since the fire. 4 months since the trial. A lifetime since I stopped believing family meant safety. Sometimes I think about what I lost. The photos that can't be reprinted. The guitar that sang with my stepfather's voice. The naive belief that my mother loved me more than money. Those things are gone. But here's what I found. Strength I didn't know I had. Friends who became family. The ability to trust my instincts even when everyone said I was wrong. Fire destroys. Everyone knows that. But fire also reveals. It burns away the surface, the pretenses, the lies, and shows you what's underneath. My mother's love was conditional. It always had been. The fire just finally showed me the price tag. If you're watching this, if you're in a family that makes you feel crazy for telling the truth, you're not crazy. You're awake. And being awake is terrifying at first. But it's also the beginning of freedom. I'm Lisa Shaw. I'm 29 years old. And my mother tried to burn down my apartment for insurance money. She failed. Not because I was smarter, not because I was lucky, but because I finally stopped protecting people who would never protect me. That's the hardest lesson and the most important one. You're allowed to save yourself, even from family. Especially from family. The fire took everything I owned. But it couldn't take who I am. And in the end, that's all that matters. A few things this experience taught me. Trust is earned, not assumed, even with family. Your gut feeling exists for a reason. When something feels wrong, it probably is. And setting boundaries isn't abandoning family. It's protecting yourself from people who already abandoned you first. Thanks for listening, and if you liked this story, share it with others, and don't forget to comment and subscribe for more stories about family betrayal, survival, and finding strength in the darkest moments. Sometimes the people who hurt us most are the ones we trusted with our whole hearts, but that doesn't mean we stop trusting. It means we learn who deserves it.